If you've ever created a macro in earlier versions of Access, you're familiar with the traditional macro builder grid. You entered conditional statements in the condition column, chose macro actions from the action list, and entered arguments for each action in the action arguments pane. Here's the same macro in the Access 2010 macro builder. As you can see, the macro builder has been completely redesigned. The old grid format is gone, as is the action arguments pane. The conditional statements are shown as traditional if statements. Arguments for each action are shown in line instead of in a separate pane at the bottom of the screen. To add an action to a macro, either select it from the Add New Action drop-down, or find it in the Action catalog and then double-click or drag it to the macro. Then fill in the arguments. To find actions more quickly, type some text in the search box, and Access filters the list to show any actions that match the criteria. Click here to remove the filter. You can even view other macros that you have already created in your database and reuse them inside other macros. Just expand the In This Database node in the Action Catalog, and then drag a macro into the one you're working on. I previously added comments to the beginning and end of the macro I just dragged in, so you can see what was added. As you can see, comments really stand out and are a great way to improve the readability of a macro. To move an action, just drag it to where you want it, or click the up or down arrows to move it. To delete an action, click Delete. Let's focus on this if statement. In previous versions of Access, you could create simple if statements by using the conditions column, but now you can create much more flexible if statements that include else and else if blocks. To add these blocks, just select the if block, and then click the type of block you want to add. To add a block that checks another condition, click Else If, and enter a conditional expression. Notice how Access helps you enter identifiers, functions, and other database elements. Just type the first few characters. You can just keep typing, or you can use the arrow keys to highlight the element that you want, and then press the Tab key to accept it. I'll add an action to this block. I'll extend this if statement by adding an else block that executes if none of the preceding conditions is true. Once you get a few actions added, you might want to collapse them to make the macro more readable. Click Collapse Actions for a more compact display of the actions. Or click Collapse All to hide all the actions and only show action blocks. Click Expand All to return to the default view. Thanks for watching this demo of the Access 2010 Macro Builder. We hope you'll keep an eye out for more information on Office Online.